All right, what's good, everybody? This your boy Tenzin, 130 the SOS podcast. Today, man, I am honored to have one of the best lyricists I've ever heard locally. Liym Capital, everyone. Liym, introduce yourself to the audience, please, and just tell us what you about, man.
Peace, what's good, y'all? My name is Liym Capital, as my brother just stated. Yeah, I'm just an artist, a hip hop artist, and just sharing my perspective and my art with you know, the community and the world, and so on and so on. So yeah,
Now, I'm reading the quote under your name. Every day is day one. Break that down for us. What's that mean?
every day is day one is the mantra and the lifestyle that I subscribe to, meaning I mean quite literally every day is day one. It's a fresh start. It speaks to being present and grateful, um, which I think is paramount as far as keeping yourself in the right headspace and not, succumbing to what happened in the past, and it just gives you a sense of control and power when you're in the present, because that's what we have control over, and that's the only real time that we're experiencing. Like, the past no longer exists, the future isn't here, the present is what we got, and it should be cherished as such. So it's just a mantra that I came up with that I think is important.
Right, because as you stated, every day is a new chance to improve yourself, be better than who you sorry, be better than who you was the previous days.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, that's definitely a forward way to think. Yeah, me and my buddies, we were also, recently practicing that, showing gratitude just for, what we accomplished already, where we at.
Yeah,
Cause it's easy to get like lost in the, oh my God, I gotta do this. Oh, I don't got this yet. But then, like, but then you realize, damn, well, look what I've done so far. Like, earlier I complimented you on your track Medusa, and you said, oldie but goodie. But I'm like, shoot, I could not tell. I thought that was some.
yeah.
I thought that was today. So that was interesting. But I had to go back, and I'm like, oh shit, that shit does say 6 years ago. So
You know
yeah,
what's
you
crazy?
was
It's crazy because it says 6 years ago, but it's actually over 10 years ago. I just put it on streaming,
whoa.
um, 6 years ago. But yeah, that record came out in 2013.
Wow, that's crazy. So like, it's like released already, or you just made it? Like it was made since 2013.
Well, it was released originally in 2013. I'm not sure when did streaming come on the scene. Like,
Ooh, that's a good question. Like you talking about like for when it got more accessible kind
Spotify.
of thing, like Spotify and stuff.
Yeah, I don't really recall. I'm trying to figure out whether or
I
not.
mean, it was definitely around then.
Okay, yeah, yeah. But yeah, either way, I had just put it out. I forget how I put it. I think I just put it on a zip file. You remember when we used to do zip
hmm
share it like that, like Z share or Bear share.
Yeah.
Yeah, I put that album. It's an album called The Float Pamphlet. I put on there, and it was Twitter. Like, I put it on Twitter, and that was like my means of release back then. So yeah, that joint is over 10 years old. But to piggyback off what you said, if we um if we actually took the time, you know how people say count your blessings. Like, if you actually counted your blessings, it would take you a long time to finish. You know what I'm saying? Like, all things considered, it's just we take for granted um what we've been afforded, because we focused on what we don't have, and that's a mistake. You know what I mean? So yeah, every day is day one, present and grateful, and I think that attitude puts you in a space to align yourself with more abundance. You know what I'm saying? Because you're starting from an abundant space when you're appreciative and grateful. You know what I mean? So yeah, every day is day one,
so
man.
so dang, that's a like I said, man, that is a really great mantra to live by. So I'm gonna adopt that if you don't mind.
Nah,
Thank you,
see?
brother.
So we all connected. You know what I mean? So yeah, it's everybody's.
Shoot. So Lean, what if you can remember, like when did your relationship with hip hop, not necessarily like when you started, writing or stuff like that. I just say like I guess when did your relationship with hip hop begin? Like as far back as you can remember. Like
Yeah, it's hard to pinpoint. But I mean, it's been around as long as I can remember. Um, I come from a musical household. My mother wasn't necessarily playing rap, but she was playing R&B. You know, Erica Badu, Mary J. Blige, Jodeci, Anita Baker. You know, the list goes on. So ever since I was a child, music has been around. But when I really recall, my earliest memories of hip hop was is like hearing Biggie on the radio, like hearing Hypnotize on the radio, and hearing Gin and Juice on the radio, and
and if you don't mind me asking, how old was you when you was hearing that?
I don't know. I mean, I it was like elementary school, yeah, like
Okay.
time, yeah. So yeah, it's hard to pinpoint, but yeah, yeah, that's my earliest memories. And my first CD that I ever had of my own was No Way Out, Puff Daddy and the Family. So yeah, so
Interesting. Was that the one with was that the one with like the sun don't shine forever? Like is that the one?
yeah,
No?
yeah,
Okay.
Victory, yeah, yeah, Victory was on there. That was after Biggie died, I believe.
Right.
Came out, yeah, but it was like the group, like the label. You know what I'm saying? No Way Out, Puff Daddy and the Family. So yeah, those are my earliest memories for sure. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah, cuz like it's funny like yeah, we all have like that older family member for sure that like inspired us my mom was in the Air Force when I was a child, so it was my uncle who was like taking care of me at the time, peace be upon him. But it's funny looking back, like he was a kid himself. Like he was in his early 20s
yeah,
watching me and my cousin at the time. And like so I always remember hearing like Ice Cube and Dr. Dre and 8 Ball, shit like that.
right,
Shit a little kid shouldn't be listening to, but hey, he he's doing the best he can. So
right,
so that's neat how like we both had like that older family member, which I think everyone got that.
yeah,
And
yeah,
as far as mothers, like my mom, she was very diverse with her music tastes coming up. Like I heard a lot of the R&B from her as well, like Jill Scott and Kim and stuff like that.
right, yeah.
So like when so I guess like the Puff Daddy CD, like was that like the first time you started to like really understand or at least get like a concept of what rappers were saying?
Yeah, I would say so. It was one of the first experiences where I mean, at that time, it's more about like melody and the beat. You know what I'm saying? You don't really know what anybody's talking about.
Right.
Even when you recite it, like you don't really know what you're saying. You just know this is what they said, so I'm gonna say it too. Well, it was that kind of thing. Um, yeah, yeah, that was the first. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah, cause yeah, just like you were saying. So like with my uncle and them, right? I listen to Master P, like we be reciting it, but we don't really know what the fuck we were saying. We just heard the beat,
yeah,
but fast forward to like fifth grade. Now, granted, I wasn't fully understanding what was being said, but I was getting like the concept of it.
yeah.
It was this album called Masquerade that my mom had by Wyclef. So
Okay.
that was when I first started to understand. Oh, okay, he's actually trying to say something,
Wow.
and I kind of get the gist of it. Now, obviously, I wasn't understanding it fully,
Yeah.
but what was an album like that for you? Like you thought like a rapper that you like, oh, wait, okay, I
Yeah.
see what you're trying to put down here. So, like, what was there? Would you say there's a rapper like that for you?
Yeah. Probably Nas.
Hmm.
Probably Nas. Stillmatic. Um, I'm trying to think how old I was. I'm not sure. Like early teens, like preteens. It's actually a pretty cool story. We had a family reunion at my house, so I had a whole bunch of cousins and family members, and like after everybody left, I noticed a blank CD in my bathroom. So that's back when we had CDs and you put them in a CD.
Right.
So I don't know what it is. There's nothing, no writing, no anything. You know what I'm saying? So I put it in, and it's Nas Stillmatic, and the intro come on, and I was just like amazed. You know what I'm saying? Um, and I just like fell in love with that
I'm
album.
not, I'm not too I'm not too keen on Stillmatic. I heard Illmatic like everybody else, but like what was the intro to that?
Hey yo, the brother's Stillmatic. I crawled up out of that grave, wiping my shirt. No, wiping the dirt, cleaning my shirt. They thought I'd make another Illmatic, but it's always forward I'm moving. Never backward, stupid. Here's another classic. See notes is falling from the sky. That's how he popped it off. Know what I mean? So
Mm.
Illmatic is crazy. Um, yeah. I mean, it got the intro. That's the intro. It got Ether on there. It got Made You Look on there. It got One Mic on there. It got
Oh, okay. Got all the
yeah,
classics. Okay.
got the Flyers with AZ on there. It got uh what goes around comes around. It got Rewind where he's
Mm.
rapping backwards. Yeah, Stillmatic is one of them for sure.
Was that did it also have the song with why am I forgetting her name?
Poison, Poison is on there. Well, that's what goes around. That same song. Um, fucking
Lauren Hill, the one with Lauren Hill.
now the Lauren Hill joint is on It Was Written, his second.
Okay, okay,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah,
See, man, oh man. I was never yeah, it's funny. Like I was never mature enough as a teen to get it to Nas. I was one of those niggas. I was like, man, this thing is boring as hell.
yeah, yeah.
Like I think I had to grow up and be like, oh shit, this nigga is fire.
Right.
So,
Yeah,
so
not for sure, man. Saying like if I went down the list of what I was listening to when I was a teenager, it's definitely things that I'm not listening to now. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, it's that's the beautiful thing about art. Like it's out, and whenever you're ready, it's there, and you can holler at it later and see if it resonates more with more life experience. You know what I'm saying?
right. So would you say Stillmatic also inspired you to write, or did that like come at a later time?
It came much later. I I'm a late bloomer as far as creating my own art. Um, to some degree. I mean, I always say like my start isn't the typical start because I was fully immersed in the culture ever since I could remember, like a fanatic. Beyond just, oh, I like this song, I like this song. Like this is consuming a lot of my time. Like I'm on LimeWire, downloading, spending countless hours downloading music and just trying to find new music, and to the point where if I like a song, I'm writing it down. I'm writing each line, line for line, so I could sing along and really experience
Mm,
it to the capacity that I wanted to. So I say that to say, although I wasn't creating my own art, it was somewhat of a, there was some element of, creation there, as far as being fully tapped in and in tune with, how to flow, like how they flowing and how what they're actually saying and things like that. So it was much later. Like I didn't write my first rhyme until like 2009, 2010.
okay, okay. So how old would you say you was then?
I was about 20 years old.
20. Okay.
Yeah,
So we're like 2 years apart because I know for sure in '09 I was like 18.
yeah,
So
yeah, yeah.
okay, bet. So what was that first rhyme called? You remember?
I couldn't tell you. Couldn't tell you because it was accompanied by a million other rhymes. You know what I mean? So they're all,
Right, right.
yeah. I was going crazy. Like I had just moved to Georgia. I had lived here in '06. I graduated high school here, and then I went back to upstate New York, where I'm from. I'm from a small town named Ellenville, New York. So I moved
It's
back
called
there.
Ellenville.
Huh?
It's called Ellenville.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay.
And I moved back there, and then I came back in '09, and I came back with not no motion. Know what I mean, I was in the crib, um, no job. I wasn't in school yet, because that's why I came back, because I was in a junior college in New York, and I didn't prepare accordingly, like accordingly, as far as setting up transferring to a 4 year school. You know what I mean? And you know, when you at a JUCO, once you got a certain amount of credits, there's no reason for you to be there. You know what I'm saying?
Right, right.
So I just it was like poor preparation on my part. So my mom was already down here, so I came back down here. So anyway, I'm saying all that to say like I didn't have much going on, so I had a lot of time on my hands, and that's when I just started picking the pen up and just writing and experimenting and you know, letting the time pass. So after that, I just kept at it for real. Although it was ebbs and flows, like I wasn't always the most consistent. It was definitely more of a hobby than anything. Um, and you know, you go through that journey where you have to build your confidence to actually share your art and things like that. So it was like, you know, ups and downs, but yeah,
Yeah, it's funny how you say hobby because I remember I used to hide behind that word too, like,
yeah.
oh yeah, it's just a little hobby of mine, I'm not really taking it serious. So in my mind I'm like, oh, I just hope it's good. Yeah, so
Right. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
so like okay, so what schools you ended up going to down here, like, to finish out?
I went to Kennesaw State University. I didn't,
Hey.
but I attended there.
Hey, shout out to Kennesaw State.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, I saw a promo for the track team. I like what I see. I'm going to support your track and field
Right,
team for the actual sport, not because of them or anything like that. But no, just
right. Yeah.
but
Yeah,
that's
I
dope, man. So
went there for a year. I didn't finish, but yeah.
so like so like your first time, like your first experience like recording, like was that down here as well?
Yeah, yeah. A
So
friend of
what?
mine,
Go ahead.
yeah, a friend of mine at the time had his own little setup. Like he had like a mic and all that. And when I say mic, I don't even think it was a mic. It might have been the joint that come with the computer. You remember them little small joints? If I recall correctly, I think that's what we was recording on. And you know, that's one take. Ain't no you mess up and do it over again and punch. You know how rappers do now. They punch everything.
Right, right, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? We had to do the whole joint, the hook, the verse, all that. So that was my first experience with recording.
And that what was that like for you? Was it like that had to have been like, wow, okay.
Yeah.
So this is the other side of it.
Yeah.
Like kind of shit, right?
Yeah, it was fun. It was also it was fun, but then there was a moment for me at least where it's like you're getting used to your voice because you don't really
Oh
hear your
yeah.
voice. Obviously, you know you hear your voice when you're talking, but it's different hearing it recorded. It's like yo, this,
Right, right.
and then like yeah, like it or not, I know.
Feel it.
Yeah, I wasn't comfortable with it. Just like anything else, like when you're not comfortable with it, like it's new, so you don't understand or you're not really fully acclimated. Um, and then yeah, so there was that aspect of it, but more than anything, it was fun. It was like okay, I had this idea and we executed it, and you know what I'm saying, and we're gonna do it again and again and again.
Yeah, I definitely want to piggyback off what you said about getting used to your voice because yeah, I remember the first time I heard myself recorded, I was like, "Oh, that's what I've been doing to
Yeah,
people."
right.
you know, because especially I got like this deep, dopey kind of voice. So I was like, "Oh."
Yeah,
So, okay, so now, so you said the program y'all was using, like it had to be one take or else you had to just start all the way over. There was no.
yeah.
That's interesting. Like, so what program were y'all using?
I couldn't tell you. I would. The homie, he was more of the engineer of it
Okay,
was his situation. I was just pulling up and recording. But yeah, it was definitely, which you know, in hindsight, definitely um was to my benefit, I believe, because you know it prepares you. Now everything is so much easier. Now it's like I said earlier, brothers be punching every line. Not that I do that, but you're able to do that, and it comes out.
right.
I'm used
Yeah.
to really going in and having to know your rhyme, like know how you want to say it one time. You know what I'm saying? So it all works out.
That's yeah, it's crazy too. Like, cause I kind of feel the same way. Even though I I'll fight my pride in punching every now and then, but yeah, I definitely feel that because you want it to sound natural. Because me personally is like I can tell I punched in. You know what I'm saying? So,
Right. Yeah.
and yeah, like you're proud of your flow. You want to be able to get it all out, like the way like you said, you want to know how it's gonna sound,
Yeah.
and you want to produce that, and also. If you're balling on a budget like me, that studio time it goes by
Yeah.
quick. So you gotta get that shit done.
Yeah. Yeah. With the it also, like, as you continue, you start learning how to write. And what I mean by that is, like, you write in a way to where you don't have to punch. You know what I'm saying? Like, you
Mhm.
structure your bars accordingly to where there's space to breathe and get your get your bar off without having to punch. Now sometimes I punch sometimes too. Like, sometimes that's that's what you're going for. Like, you running out of breath, but you want it to sound fluid, so you have to punch. You know what I mean? But ultimately, I
Mhm.
think it unless you lean on it, unless you lean on that feature, like being able to punch, it teaches you how to write, so you don't have to. You know what I'm saying? So more often than not, I'm doing the whole rhyme all the way through.
And that's and I like how that's really good that you brought that up. Like, yeah, like you learn how to write, towards your rap style.
Right.
And I was listening to an interview with Talib Kweli. Well,
You
never
went
mind.
you went out.
I was reading it. Oh, you said I went out?
Yeah, you said you was listening to an interview of who?
I was reading it.
Oh,
It was Talib Kweli,
okay,
and
got
he
it.
was talking about his writing process, and he was like, "Yeah, I used to write, like this, but now when I write, I try to cater to where it's more stage friendly."
Right.
So, but I like that dynamic too. How you said, you get used to writing the way that you naturally, you know,
Deliver.
talk or
Yeah,
deliver. Yes,
yeah.
yes, that's the word. But I was gonna ask on top of that, like, is that like another like similar thing as well? Do you try to write more towards like the stage, or do you still sort of write as in to like be the best lyricist, sort of?
Not really. I don't really have um there'll be moments where I might, that might come to mind, like when I perform this, like this, I should write it like this, like moments. But I haven't. I'm like I said, I'm new to performing, so that hasn't been something that I've been paying close attention to as far as writing. Um, it, Lately, it's just been I've been picking joints where I think it'll go well as a performance more than me actually preparing for it to be good as I'm writing it for a performance. You know what I mean?
Right. And I gotta say, man, big ups to you. Like I mean, your breath control is phenomenal.
Thank
The two times I've seen you, and you actually, I mean, I can remember. I mean, I can remember my raps, but it's like I'm trying to get to that place where I can do multiple, performance tracks without, the background vocals, which you can do that.
you. Yeah,
Like,
yeah. You know how they say you practice how you play. It's that's all it
mhm.
is. Like, I practice over the beat. I
Okay,
I don't practice over the song. I mean, I start off with the song so I can remember it, but once I got it,
right,
then we simulate as best as we can the performance atmosphere. Obviously, you can't simulate that 100%, but um, it's just it's just I mean, frankly, it's just a better show. It's just a better show
yeah,
when you spit over the rhyme. You know what I'm saying? Because otherwise, your vocals are gonna be clashing with the actual track. Unless you like airtight and you saying it exactly on point.
right.
But it's a rarity that happens. But it's just a better show when you do it over the beat, because there's even different variations that you could play with your flow. You're not confined to the track, because when the track is on, you have no choice. If you want it to sound good, you have to be on
Right.
point. You know what I'm saying? Like with the flow. But when you don't got the flow, I mean, you get more comfortable, and you could like lean on this bar a little bit more, or you could like speed up the cadence here, and like you could play with it and make it more of a one experience. You know what I'm saying? When you got the track, it's like yeah, it's just it just leaves more to be desired.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely feel what you're saying. Yeah, I mean, there's like there's a couple of tracks in my arsenal that I can do without the background vocals, and I
Yeah,
think I have done it at one of the smoking chills. But yeah, it's just like, but to be able to do multiple ones, that is amazing. Like,
yeah,
especially to have a memory like that, and which I would say is like, it's definitely like muscle memory for sure.
yeah,
Um,
yeah,
and so, and now you said you moved down here in 2006,
yeah.
correct?
Initially, it was 2006, and then I moved back in '08, and then I came back in '09 and been here ever since.
That's crazy too because I still remember that. Well, I'm gonna butcher it now because I'm on recording, but dang, what the fuck did Fat Joe say on that "Make It Rain"? Like, he said something. He was
Why
like,
everybody at the South for
yeah, yeah.
had to
So it's
style up and go southpaw. That's
right,
that's actually a Jada Kiss line, but yeah, but
right,
borrowed it on that joint.
yeah, yeah. So it's funny how it's like it's funny how like you actually came down here. So it's like in a way you was already switching to Southpaw. You didn't know it.
Yeah,
so
yeah, yeah,
so what now speaking of like the switching to the Southpaw, how was hmm well, I don't know if you can answer this or not, but I guess you could from a personal experience. I guess like what was it like? I guess hearing like New York artists sort of adapting to the Southern style, like like were you starting to smell it in the air that the Southern style was sort of
yeah,
taking over a bit?
yeah. It was embarrassing to me. I was embarrassed by
Mm,
it. It's like, bro, where's your integrity at? Like, we call that dick riding. You know what I'm saying? Like, like be yourself. Like you doing something just because it's hot. Like that's not honorable to me. You know what I'm saying? Now,
mm,
don't get me wrong, like it's cool to play with different styles and shit and be creative, but it's like when it's contrived and you're not really being who you are, it was embarrassing. You know what I'm saying? And you know, brothers played themselves, I feel.
mm. So you're talking about more so like the artists who just like they was like, you know what, yeah, that's the sound. I'ma just try to do this. Like
Yeah,
not necessarily the ones who's like, let me experiment with this. Like,
right, right. Yeah.
because
Like I got no problem with we artists. Like so being creative is, that's part of the job description. So ain't nothing wrong with that. And in the end of the day, you know, fuck all that New York, South, East, West. Yo, we all blacks. This is black music. Know what I mean, I think
right,
I think we really need to get away from that shit. Like that shit is really it's really mind boggling when you consider like how territorial and how or not territorial, but how like prideful we are about where we're from. Like it's all the white man's land, kid. Like your people don't have no history of running any legislation where you from or really having any power to where I mean, maybe some do, but at large, this is stolen land and shit. So it's like all of this, like I'm from here, you from there. So
hmm,
like that shit is corny, bro. But and I can't help but think it's a fucking conspiracy, like for us to another reason for us to be at odds with each other over the dumbest shit. You know what I'm saying?
I
So
mean,
yeah,
hmm. Now, my conspiracy beliefs, I'll say that for another conversation. But I mean, I'll just say this. I mean, everybody loves a train wreck. I mean, there's a reason why the gangster music sells more than,
right.
the uplifting music. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
But but speaking to your point, like, yeah, like hip hop, obviously, created by Cool Herc up in I forget which borough, but
The Bronx.
up
Yeah,
in the Bronx. There you go. Thank you.
yeah,
Like, birthplace. I always recognize New York as the birthplace.
yeah,
But yeah, like it is a black art form,
Right.
and and it shouldn't. Yeah, and regions should not be a hard separation.
Yeah. That's
However, I appreciate hearing
differences.
different interpretations of it. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
I, whether it's the New York sound or West Coast, South, Midwest. Like, I
And
love hearing that blend. Yeah,
right. And that's part of where my disappointment comes from when people was like riding that wave. It's like now you're diluting the art form. Like you're diluting, you're not bringing what's natural to you. So now we're missing out because you riding somebody else way. Like let the people that do that do that. You know what I'm saying? Like and you do you. But
right,
with the internet now it's like, the lines is much more blurred.
right, yeah,
It damn near don't even matter where you from for real. You can't even tell where somebody's from. Um because we all grew up on the internet. Um
yeah, and and I'll say this: like J. Cole, he's kind of like the reverse.
right.
I just automatically assumed he was a New York nigga, you know what I'm saying? But then he said North Carolina. I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
so,
Yeah. Yeah. I
so,
be
but but yeah, like that movement. Um, well, now I'm personally crediting like that Khaled era, I guess, just because that's just what I heard. But if I'm wrong, please tell me. But it's like I guess what I loved about that era, like yeah, it was kind of annoying, definitely oversaturated, but I mean, that boy Khaled was uniting, like you said, blurring the regional lines. He
yeah,
had New York artists, Southern artists, Midwest artists,
yeah.
all this.
I
If
I
you
love
hot, you hot.
I I love the idea of collaboration. I mean, that's what this is all about. Like we're all different, and we all have strengths and weaknesses. Like music aside, just collaboration. Like that's what we're supposed to be doing. Like
Right.
this idea of like competition. Competition is inevitable, but because I mean, depending on what space we're talking about, because there's a finite amount of slots in this particular area, so you have to compete. Like for a job, for example, I
Hmm.
mean, like there's only 5 positions. I mean,
Right.
so get hired. So that's inevitable. But it's like we supposed to be collaborating, bro. Like there's things that you have a knack for that I don't, and vice versa. And how we get to the top is through collaboration. So I love the idea of collaboration. I just don't like when people R&B being who they are, or they're diluting themselves,
Mm.
try to, you know, catch this wave or whatever. Yeah.
And and I think like one can definitely hear that. Cause yeah, there's artists who I've heard. Yeah, I'm like, okay, this person is definitely cool with just being an idol. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, they don't really, yeah, like you can tell they're not really like trying to make music like that for real. They just trying to sell.
Right.
And,
Yeah.
and they come and go. You know what I mean? Um, so, so Liam, let me see. Let me ask. Your first project, like what year was that when you finally made your first project?
2013, entitled The Float Pamphlet. Shout out to my brother Chris from Black Seventh, my man Six Sire, who I just released a project with, and that he produced entirely. And that Medusa record, that Medusa joint, um, is actually, I was jacking for beats on that. I forget whose beat that is originally. And there
Well,
was,
I know it said Harry Fraud. So like, was that from a
yeah, that was a Harry.
currency song or anything like that, or
I don't recall who beat that originally was. Like who rapped on it. Yeah, but that does sound like some Harry Fraud shit. So yeah,
nice? Okay, so 2013, and what was it called again?
the Float Pamphlet.
The Flow Pamphlet.
Yeah, which is an acronym for forever levitating over adversity and turmoil.
Mm.
Yeah.
That's
Thank
yo, man, you are an inspiring motherfucker. I gotta say, man.
it. Shout to my man Mari, man. My man Mari helped name that. The
Really.
pamphlet aspect. You know what I'm saying? That shit was slick, like the float pamphlet, like a manual, you know what I mean?
So, like, what was the I heard a couple of tracks from it. But like, I guess like, what was your overall like? I guess going into it, like, did you have a planned theme for it, or were you just like, hey, I'm about to put some songs together and let's see what it do?
Pretty much the latter. It wasn't a lot of my content is in the same vein, so it's cohesive in that regard as far as what I'm talking about. So I figured it would be cohesive. But more than anything, I was just recording with my man Chris. Um, just knocking joints out because that was my like prior to that I haven't been recording for that long, so I was just getting used to my voice, playing with different styles and just seeing what meshed the best. So we was recording for some time and then we just put that together in 2013.
Wow, you know what? And so I gotta say, man, to my folks listening, well, to my people that's gonna be listening, this is pre-recorded.
Yeah,
Yeah, man, do not doubt yourself at all, because it's crazy hearing you say that you were just, getting your feet wet, recording wise, because I couldn't tell. Like, there was another track, Parlay.
yeah,
Like that was so smooth and
yeah.
cool and confident. But you over here saying, "Oh yeah, man," I'm just so I. What I gotta say is, I mean, you're clearly a natural at this because if that's like baby steps to you, then
Yeah.
wow, man, I can only imagine you getting better. So
Thank you, man. I appreciate it. Yeah. That was a long time ago. It was over 10 years ago. But yeah, that was the beginning of me recording. But like I said, my beginning wasn't like your typical beginning because prior to that, I was the kid that knew all of the raps, all of the Cassidy freestyles and all of the Fabulous and all of the, what I'm saying? Like I knew the joints from top to bottom.
oh man, what was that? You brought it back. Oh shit, it was I used to get hella spins. When I start describing it, you'll know what I'm talking about. But it was it was Fabulous Cassidy and Lil Wayne.
Oh yeah, yeah. 6 Minutes of Death, I think it's called.
That's like dun, 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 dun.
Yeah,
Yeah. Whew,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
shit.
I think that joint was called 6 Minutes of Death. I think it was on
Okay.
the album. Yeah, I recall. Yeah.
So as another surprising thing you said, and that was when I first met you. You was like, after you just spat some amazing shit, you was like, oh yeah, man, I actually don't be freestyling like that. I was like, well, you could have fooled me.
Mm, yeah. Well, when I said that, I meant like off the top of my head. Like everything I spit was you know pre-written. So yeah,
well, well, as Big Daddy Kane said, if it came from your mind, you freestyled it. That's my
yeah,
I'll always lean on that because me personally, I can't freestyle like that myself. Like I kind of have to be like either mad comfortable or like kind of under the influence to be able to like get some shit flowing. You know what I'm saying? So,
yeah.
but nah, bro. So yeah, and I like to say too. Now, obviously, you say you get this a lot because I definitely said it when I first heard you.
Huh.
I was like, man, you got that AZ kind of flow towards you. So like, I don't know, like what's and listening to your music, you like, I'm like, okay, yeah, he definitely got that cool like mafioso kind of swagger to him. Like I ain't gonna raise my voice over a notch. Like on some Vito Corleone kind of shit. So like, was that like? So like, did you grow up watching gangster films or anything like that, or?
I mean, not particularly, not like any more than anybody else did. Um, the influence is more, it's more of the musical element influenced me more than anything. Like AZ, I'm a big fan of AZ style of rhyme, like just the multi syllable
Mm.
rhyming format. I believe is like when we're talking about who's nice, I feel like this is a requirement. Like like in comparison, like if you just rhyming one syllable every line, it's like okay, that's cool. That doesn't diminish, what you're saying. But when we're talking about
Right.
skills of it, I think when you're able to rhyme multiple syllables while making sense and actually saying something insightful, being witty, I think that's when we start talking about who's the best. You know what I mean, so and A, A was just always super nice. You know what I mean? And as far as like my demeanor, this is just who I am. This is just a DNA thing. Like I can't
Mm,
even take any credit for that. Like this is as far as my demeanor, you know. So that blended
okay.
with, so it just comes across like that.
So you already like that. You just like, I ain't going back and forth with you. I'm not gonna raise my voice with you. Like, hey, you look.
Yeah,
This is
yeah,
you get lean how you get them. Like, you know what I'm saying? That's dope, man.
yeah,
That's really cool. And yeah, man. And just to add to what you were saying about how dope AZ is, there's this track like I told myself I'm gonna get into more of his solo stuff, but
yeah.
there's other track besides, Life's a Bitch,
Right.
that I was listening to called Ho Happy Jackie.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And he was
Nah,
doing the multi-syllabic shit while telling the story. So like you said, he was still cohesive, still made sense, but still could do the like
yeah,
so.
yeah, yeah. That I think that's just a testament to your writing ability and like your creativity when you're able to you know do the multi-syllable rhymes and actually say something and be creative. So that's just always the style that I've admired most. Like Nas do it. I mean, really like Cool G rap
Yep,
is
yep.
like
I was just about to
and
say.
and Ra, of course, Rakim, like that. I feel like they introduced that. So I'm just I'm under their tutelage for real. Like those are the brothers that taught me how to rhyme, so to speak.
Right, right. Like my two main influences with rap, like Lord Infamous and Big Pun, like, they too got like that. Which, Big Pun is obviously he was a student of Cool G.
Right.
But yeah, like just that multi-syllabic rhymes. Well, Lord Infamous more for the triplet flows. But yeah, man, it's yeah, it's dope that we all got, artists from the past that we look toward and we, evolve their craft and make it better.
Yes,
So
sir.
so yeah, Liam, it's been a very good conversation, man. I'm very glad that you
Uh,
was able to join me this Sunday.
No doubt.
Uh shit, well, you said you mentioned a project that you have out currently. What's it called again?
It's called It's Dark and Dawn is Bright. It's
Okay.
produced entirely by my man Six Sire. It's an EP, like seven joints on streaming. We have a bonus, a deluxe version available on my Bandcamp.
Awesome.
Pardon me, it's not my Bandcamp. It was presented through a collective called the 17th Cipher. Shout out to Harmony Equality. She's like a curator of sorts, an executive producer who bridges the gap between artists and producers. And it's been presented through her platform. So you can find the deluxe version at the17thcipher.bandcamp.com. So THE17THCIPHER.bandcamp.com. So that's available there. Um, I got another project coming called Every Day is Day One Phase Two
Hmm.
because the initial installment came out around last year September, which is essentially me jacking for beats. It's like a mixtape. So I'm rocking over other people's beats, and that's available on my Bandcamp, which is Liym Capital. LIYMCAPITAL.bandcamp.com. So we're gonna do the second installment of that. I'm just getting the last joints mixed and getting the cover art. Probably put that out at the top of the year. And I got a slew of albums in the tuck. It's just about execution. Like the work is done. I don't stop working. Like I don't stop recording or writing. So um I'm aiming for like 4 releases this upcoming year. So at least.
Well, shoot, Liam, it's definitely gonna happen, man, for sure. And I'm definitely gonna be hitting you up for some 16s, man. So be prepared.
No
I'm be
doubt.
blowing you up, bro.
No doubt. It's time, man. Time.
All right, man. Hey, thank you once again for joining us, and to everyone that's going to be watching this Wednesday, please listen to Liam Capital. Stream all his stuff. Dope artist, dope person, everything.
Thank you,
Uh,
my brother. I appreciate it.
no problem, man. You have a good one.
No doubt. You too, man. Peace.
Peace.